What's up? Hello, how everybody out there doing this Thursday afternoon, June the 9th? Man, we are into this year like nobody's business. So welcome. My name is Lee Black, and I am actually the host of Real Talk for Real Men. I air live on Wednesdays and Sundays, but tonight I came to talk to you guys about TFG's His and Hers Relationship Perspectives. You can actually subscribe to my channel on YouTube or Facebook. We're under the TFG TV platform of shows. And so I like to give my take every now and then on what's happening out there in the multiverse. And so we're going to be actually looking at TFG's page tonight, one of the pages. It's called His and Hers Relationship Perspectives. And on this page, if you haven't already subscribed or got in on the fun, it is fantastic. It's a hodgepodge of topics that range from anything you can think of that deals with us as people and the things that we go through, the things we talk about. And so I'm going to be talking just in tandem tonight about whatever I see on there. I have not been on there for a minute, and so I'm going to pop in. Now, I see I got a couple of my brothers popping in, Mr. Kenny, my man from Texas, and Mr. Charles, namesake. If he a more, he damn sure good. I invite you brothers to come on live if you would like to, because I'm getting ready to dig into some of these topics, my brothers, and this could easily turn into an all-male review, and we could have some fun. I put the link into the commentary section, and if you'd like to come on live, anybody, I welcome all opinions. And with that said, I'm going to say from the beginning, the opinions that you're going to hear on this episode belong to me and me alone. So do not think this is what TFG thinks. This is what Lee Black thinks. But I welcome anybody to come on live and let's talk about what's happening out there. There's a lot of things going on. So you know how we do it. If this is not your first time, I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'm going to organically pick some topics from the TFG His and Hers Relationship Perspectives, and I am going to then show some reviews of what people think. And of course, I'm going to give my opinion, because if you don't know, you'll find out I am an opinionated SOB all day, every day. Mr. Misha, how you doing, sweetheart? Good to have you. And again, anybody want to pop on with me? The link is right there into the commentary section. I should probably put it out here on a banner as well, because I welcome anybody who would like to actually, come on. Just send me a message, and absolutely. What's going on, Miss Hannah? How you doing, sweetheart? So anyway, let's jump into this thing. And I'm going to share my screen with you. Anybody want to come on live? Do so. If not, I invite you to share your comments right there in the section. So let's get this thing popping. I don't know what topics are on there. I have not been on the page in a while. So just know that I'm going to be reading this live at the same time with you guys, just like you will be. So, okay. Here's the page in case you've never been there. TFG's His and Hers Relationship Perspectives. And as I scroll down, let's see. One of the first things that comes up is, how would you respond? And so there's a little conversation. So let's see. I'm going to jump into this. I don't want to show anything, about anybody's personal business. So obviously this is like some kind of little conversation going on. Somebody says, nah, for real though. So where you taking me? And then the person says, Roof's Chris. So I'm assuming that's a restaurant. And then this is the comment. Look, I know this date is going to lead to us fucking. So whatever money you planned on spending, you can just give it to me and we can still fuck. Ah, very interesting. So this is a little snippet of a conversation between a man and a woman. And apparently he's asking her out. She said, where you taking me? And she just cut to the chase. The woman says, look, I know we're going to fuck. So whatever money you was going to send somewhere, why don't you just give me that money? We can save that. Just put that in my hand, because we still going to fuck. Wow. So let's look at some of the comments, what people had to say. I always kind of like to go back to the beginning. This lady says, at least she's honest. The guy says, yeah. Another guy says, yeah, but I'm still hungry. Another brother says, tell her your cousin's name is Roof Chris and he sells 50-cent hot dogs. I actually made a comment to this one. I'm going to skip over mine, then I'll share what I wrote. A young lady says, so she's a low budget I'm assuming that's a hoe. I can't stand people. The guy says, leave her alone. Another young lady says she must have bills to pay. She probably could have gotten both, but she played herself. And then I'll read this last one. Person says, great. I don't want to go through the process of acting like I'm interested in what you got going on or pretending I like and I want more than just to fuck. Okay. Now, I actually put in there, I said, I would say bet. And since I was planning on taking you out again next week, you can give me that pussy all weekend and I'll get you on my next check. Now, I was actually joking when I said that, just so you know. I was actually joking when I said that. Uh, Hannah says she wants to, Hannah, I'm going to send you the link, sweetheart, as I'm talking about this. But in answer to the young lady, you know what? Yeah, you know what? The way I look at it, I don't have a problem with what the young lady said. Now, I don't know if she had bills or not, but hey, you know what? I I kind of, if I'm going to be honest with you, I respect the fact that, you know, she's putting it out there. In 2022, people are very direct and honest. And truthfully speaking, brothers, the woman is calling the shot anyway. We don't get to pick and choose anymore. We get chosen. I actually respect the fact that she's saying, look, wherever you was going to take me, you was going to get these draws anyway. And so you can say that little piece of change and give that to me. I respect it. I don't have a problem in the world with that. I just sent the link and I got my brother Bert coming on. Brother Bert, what's going on out there?
What's going on, bro?
Yes, sir. I don't know if you heard that first exchange. What do you think about the fact that this young lady's saying, look, save your money. Wherever you was going to take me, we was going to fuck anyway. Just give me the.
Repeat that again one more time, bro. I didn't really hear you. I'm sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. On TFG's His and Hers Relationship Perspective, there was a short conversation. So I'll just read it really quickly. Apparently, this guy's asking a woman out, and he says, "Nah, for real though." She says, "So where you taking me?" He names a restaurant. He said, "Ruth Chris." The lady says, "Look, I know this date is going to lead to us fucking, so whatever money you planned on spending, you can just give it to me, and we can still fuck." What do you think about that?
What?
Well.
What do you think about that? What's up, Jenny from the Bronx? What's going on, baby
A
girl?
lady said that?
A
Yeah.
lady said that. So basically, she's telling the guy that, look, you don't have to waste no money taking me to no restaurant. We was gonna fuck anyway. Just give me that money. What do y'all think about that?
So,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead.
so what happened to women being ladies? Before, if you knew you were going to give it up at the end of the night, y'all didn't know. We know, but we don't put it out there.
Ooh.
So stop smiling.
Woo.
We already know going into a date what we going to do.
Okay.
So for her to just basically prostitute herself, that's basically saying, I'm gonna spread these cheeks, you gonna make it rain, and I'm gonna go home. No meal, no nothing. You don't want to be wine to dine. You don't want to be treated, even if it's just an act. At least know your worth. Know what your 1 second. Upstairs.
Okay.
Sorry. Know what your box is worth.
Okay. I have no issue with what you said. None whatsoever. What you say, Brother Bert?
Listen. Now, Ruth Chris, you spend a couple of hours. So make sure the little one's not running. That poom poom better be worth what I'm gonna spend at Ruth Chris, because I can give you some money, it could be trash. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? That's weird. You know what I mean? Because really you just honing yourself out. I understand where you're coming from, like, hey, listen, we're gonna do X, Y, Z.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I would at least like to take you out a little bit, get to know you a little bit, see what you about or whatever. It's just that I just can't see myself giving you $150, 200, whatever, and it can wind up being trash, man. But that's the worst money I've ever spent in my life. You know what I'm saying? But if I get a good meal out of it and some ass, I mean, even if it's a little trash, I'll be all right.
My brother, and I love what y'all are coming from, a place of being this happy couple and shit, and y'all done found each other. So let me tell you from a single man's perspective how this hit me. Tamisha says that was her worth. She stated it. It's whatever a meal at Ruth Chris is. Now, let me be clear, Tamisha and Charles, because I've never eaten at Ruth Chris. I didn't even know there was a restaurant, just to be honest with you. That I cook personally, so I don't eat out a whole lot, but I'm looking at it, so it must be an expensive restaurant. So you know what? She actually would have done me a favor because I actually don't take women out to really expensive restaurants like that, to be honest with you. Never have. I mean, now if you my girlfriend or you might, but if I'm trying to get to know you, that ain't never, and I'm not a cheap person. It's not about me being cheap. And then to your point, Hannah, I know I'm getting the pussy, so I don't know I can speak for no other guy, you know what I'm saying? You sucking some dick or something, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I know I'm getting something out of it because I've never been the type that, oh, I'm on my cycle and I was thinking about it. If you go out with me, you pretty much know that you got 3 holes, that one of them is going to get plugged. So, you can pick and choose, and if it's a doo-doo shoot, then, you need to have that cleaned out ahead of time too. But my thing is, she would have done me a favor because I wasn't going to be spending no kind of, not on a first date anyway, because I'm not trying to impress you like that anyway. And I actually expect to fuck. I respect that in 2022 that she's saying exactly what I'm saying. That look, I'm accepting this date, so if I'm accepting it, we gonna fuck. Let's not kid around. Yeah, I'm gonna put my legs in the air. So whatever you're planning on giving me, you want to give me that. Now, to me, the going rate is still $40. You know what I'm saying?
$40, that's not even gas.
So
You better quadruple that, bro.
That's not even
For Ruth
gas.
Chris.
I'm one of those people that if you expecting those high dollars, money out of me, man, that pussy better have a cape on it and some more shit. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't know what Ruth Chris called, somebody said $150. That means I'm renting that pussy all weekend.
Weekend.
I'm renting that pussy all
You
weekend.
can spend
It can't go
$1.50
nowhere.
easy in
It gotta lay there so that anytime I think I want to dip my stick in it, it's gonna be available.
For a
If I'm
steak?
for there you go.
For a steak?
150 to 200.
That's why I'm saying
He said
$150,
he's spending
$200.
$40, so that equates to a couple of days.
The cost of living has went up. The $40 has to increase.
I'm just trying to tell you, you know what I'm saying? Charles says you better put it out there or we might not be going anywhere. Thank you, my brother. And that's spoken like a single man out in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Charles says cheap is an ugly word. Let's say frugal. Thank you. Thank you. I'll use that.
No, men would say we're frugal.
All right, we're going to move on to another one. So let me share my screen. Again, I have not read these. So we're going to pick something at random. And I appreciate you guys coming on. It makes it so much more exciting for me than just everybody hearing me run my mouth. So let's scroll down and let's find something else on here. Do we really want to say anything more about
No, I'm good.
Yeah, we're going to skip.
I didn't get my piece. Y'all talked about it yesterday, but I'm good.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna give you a shot. We're gonna spend just a few minutes on this because this obviously is trending wherever. And look, I'm just gonna read this and then I'll let you give your take on it, Hannah, and that'll be beautiful. So apparently somebody wrote, y'all are confusing. When Michael B. Jordan was doing the most and giving Lori the world, y'all was like, goals. That's a real man. He knows her worth, etc., etc. But then she denies his marriage proposal, and y'all are okay with that. So you are cool with the woman getting the treatment of a wife, being courted and loved like one, but if she isn't ready to commit her life, then he should just accept it? That's toxic. Michael B. Jordan was in it for what's real, and she was in it for the attention. Don't be narrow-minded, ladies. If you raised your son to be this type of man and this happened to him, y'all would feel some type of way. Lori Harvey just created a whole savage. Somebody put that out there and they clearly shared their opinion. I'm not even going to read the other comments. Hannah, go. What do you say on this?
Y'all ready? Okay. So here's my opinion. Honestly, I didn't never consider them goals. I don't consider any relationship goals. To me, I think when they got together, I thought they both were in it for convenience because prior to them getting together, everybody was coming at Michael B. Jordan for never being with a black girl like it mattered. Lori is climbing every social ladder she can, from your dad to your uncle to your friend to your cousin. So I felt like in the beginning it was convenience, and then they wound up falling for each other, and it became more serious. She did have a right, in my opinion, to turn down a proposal. However, when you are into something and y'all going two different ways, it's time to sit down before it get that far and speak on what your relationship is going to be, because that could have been avoided. Sometimes you know when a girl wants to be proposed to, and you know when she doesn't. So a part of him should have known, and a part of her should have known. If she didn't want the commitment that he wanted, then maybe it shouldn't have went on for a year and a half. That relationship, if you was just down for whatever game y'all both got, y'all could have got that, and the relationship could have been done. However, I just really feel like, and I like to say, I never considered them goals, but I really do feel like their relationship was convenience that turned into something real. And I agree, he definitely is going to be a savage because, and I also agree another part too. If she's not ready to get married at 25, I wouldn't, because I got married at 18, and that was a bad mistake. And sometimes people think, oh, I'm just gonna get married because somebody proposed. But what if she did? What if they did get married and that was the worst mistake they ever made? So I just feel like they both weren't discussing. I feel like the communication was missing on all the type of the poses and the pictures and the social climbing. The communication was the bigger part that they both missed. And
Okay.
Lori is for the streets anyway, so I don't care.
Okay. Anything you want to add to that, Brother Bert?
I don't got nothing to add to that. I believe she is for them streets. You know, he busted up them geeks for as long as he could, tried to wipe that hoe,
All
but
right,
it
she's
just
not a hoe.
all right. Tried to wipe that young lady, but guess what? She pretty much laid it. Hey, listen, I'm not fit to do that. You know what I mean? So go about your business, Michael B. You can get more drinks out there. You straight. I mean, maybe they might not be there. Maybe he did feel some type of connection with her. But at the end of
Okay.
the day, man, if you don't go out there and bust the rest of them yeeks and chill the hell out, I mean, hey, you never know. They might get back together one day. Who knows? But go out there and get them yeeks and stop playing around.
That's
Bravo.
Lick your wounds and keep moving. We
that's
all been there, bro.
that's easier
I,
said than done.
I don't
It
even think
is.
he
I
had
said lick your
wounds.
wounds.
I'm gonna say this before I move on. I don't even think he had wounds, but I think being the guy that his character, I don't know these people at all. The character I believe that he purports himself to be. I think he has to appear in public now because it's the right thing to do as a man,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Right.
strikes me as having enough character that he want to drag her down. But having said that, l- let's call a spade a spade. She's a hoe. Let's stop playing now.
She's
She's
not a
she's
Yeah.
hoe.
she's a
She is
hoe,
a 20-year-old woman.
and I love hoes. I ain't talking about her age, but she's a hoe
She's not a
now,
hoe.
you know. And my sentiment is being shared with many. Charles said you can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
She's not a
Uh,
hoe.
she's
Preach.
a she's a hoe. She's a social climbing hoe at that, and I mean
Preach.
that with love. I got
Yep.
mad respect for her. The fact
Love.
that I mean that with love. I love hoes, but I mean that with enough respect. Having said that, she caught Michael B. Jordan. This is where we get the game twisted. So
Yep.
you know what I'm more interested in? That now that they split, where does she go from here?
It is
See,
nobody.
because when we think about Sierra, for example, she made a come up. Future dug in them guts, put a seed in that pussy, and then she still had to come up. She found a man that was religious, wifed her, loved her. She has a family. He has way more income. She has stability. You're Lori Harvey, bitch. You famous for just being famous. Your dad is famous. You're not famous. If it wasn't for attaching his name, because that's not even his biological daughter, we wouldn't even know who you are. Pretty is everywhere. I can throw a rock and hit a pretty bitch. And her pussy, trust and believe, ain't got no cake flying out of it. It's just pussy. So you caught Michael B. Jordan in his prime. No children. Career trajectory is headed nowhere but up. Where does she go from here? But I do respect the fact that if you wasn't ready, if that was the case and you guys wanted to be serious, yeah, move on. But you go no, because are you telling me that some another A-level actor is going to come along? Not now. Now again, in time she could find, and it's possible, but I'm just saying I don't see it. Look, I would fuck her right now. If you just kind of want to go down that hill, there's a fat man right here in Buckhead that'll take a piece of that pussy. You live in Atlanta. I live in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So again, if you still want to throw your oats out there, Charles says she talking to Jack Harlow. I have no idea who Jack Harlow is, but he ain't no Michael B. Jordan, whoever that is.
What is he?
I promise you, Charles, you say she's social climber. She climbing all right, not on that exactly. She like dick.
Wait,
and
she talking to somebody already?
That's what they say. Tamisha says a year and a half, in my opinion, isn't long enough to know if you want to spend your life with someone. But I agree, if they are on different levels and need to talk. I like what you said, Tamisha. That's spoken like a woman with maturity. And so I agree with you 1,000%. She's 25 years old.
Yeah.
So he's 35 years old. So I, haven't had the benefit of being married before. I don't know if either one of them are ready. So all your oats out there, there's a lot of pussy to get. There's a lot of dicks to climb on. Enjoy who you are, and then talk about these things seriously. So with that said, Michael B, keep your face straight. Do the man thing. Take all of the heat. Let people say that you was the one that wanted to be serious, but she didn't. Not. The truth of the matter is, let that hoe go back to her hoisms, and you go out there and sow your oats. Enjoy yourself,
bro. Sunglasses, though. Yes, he's gonna be out in public.
I'm just saying. Brother Kenny says, man, LOL. She's a 25-year-old woman with status doing her thing, just like a 25-year-old dude slanging Mr. Happy all around town. LOL. Double standard. Well, to a certain extent, Brother Kenny, I agree with you. Except, so I agree. I don't disagree with that. Except that I've stated on many occasions, I think the roles have definitely reversed now. So now you're right. The women are counting the notches on their bedpost. So I'm not judging her for being a hoe. I am a hoe. I like hoes. So I'm actually not doing double standards. I'm elevating these hoes at the level that they want to belong to. If you want to play the game, then you get all of the smoke. I am a hoe. I've always been a hoe. I'm probably gonna die a hoe. I love hoes. So, Lori, I'm with you, baby. Do your thing.
Keep your hoes alive.
Okay, there you go. Keep hoes alive. I ain't mad with you. And keep doing your thing, baby. he got that side. Okay, that tells me it's time to move on to another topic. All right, let's move on to something else out here. From this, we're picking these from TFG, his and hers relationship perspectives. This one was very interesting. This one was really interesting. I as you guys were talking, I found this one. Food for thought. So check this out. I want to read this in its entirety. So check this out. This is some history shared with us, and I want to know what you guys think about this. It says, did you know that in the Middle Ages, in a French city, women put in the morning a slight poison in the breakfast of their husbands, and then when they returned home late at night, they were given the antidote. So this poison was no harm to human beings. In case men didn't come home because they were elsewhere, and so the antidote was delayed, men got headaches, nausea, shortness of breath, depression, pain, and vomiting. The more the man was away from home, the sicker he was. And then when he returned home, unknowingly, his wife gave him the antidote, and he was better in a few minutes. With this horrible trick, men were scammed because they imagined that being away from home would cause them pain and depression. So they became attached to their homes and their wives. Wow. Now, if that is true, I didn't research this, but if that is true, what do you guys think about this? Hannah, I see your face.
That is ridiculous. Like, if I have to do all that for my spouse to come home, that's ridiculous. Also, everybody not going to come home right home from work. You might get stuck at the office. You might be stuck in traffic. There's no way. There's no way that you're always going to come home at the same time every day. Unless you have a job that you just, clock in and clock out at the same exact time, things happen. I just really feel like that's very deceitful. Like, suppose you gave you the wrong dose and he died on his way home, and you not working, so you just SOL out here looking stupid. Like, I just don't understand it. I just feel like that's very deceitful. First of all, where you getting the poison from? You making it? What if you didn't give him the antidote? What if he was so sick he couldn't take the antidote? Now you in jail because you want him to come home. That's ridiculous. I mean, you should want. I'm going to be honest. You should want your significant other to go out and experience things. If you always underneath each other all the time, then how you expect to miss each other? That makes absolutely no sense to me.
Okay.
What
Okay.
century was this?
I'm sorry.
What century? When was this done?
It didn't say what century. It just said in a French city. So I'm assuming this was a long time ago. And before you answer, I want to share a couple of comments. Somebody says that's why I don't eat spaghetti until I trust her. You know, we've all heard about women putting their period in spaghetti, especially Creole women in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Another lady says very good idea. Another young lady says home. So this is where the term homesick originated. Makes sense to me.
Oh, that makes sense.
Maybe that's where we get the term homesick, and that does make sense. Charles makes a good point. What was the antidote? Coochie juice?
Straight up.
So what do you think about this, Bert?
No good bitches.
Wow. I'll be right back.
God damn. Ain't that some shit? Trying to poison the knuckle while he out there trying to do his job, making him sick and shit. Listen, that's deceitful, man. That's deceitful. I mean, listen, a person gonna do what they gonna want to do, regardless of a poison, antidote, whatever. They gonna do what they want to do. You know, let that man go out there and do what he gotta do and come back. You know what I'm saying? Like for them to poison, I mean, are they out there dipping? Is that the reason why? Or is this a preventive measure from them to not dip?
It doesn't
I
say,
can't stand them. I'm trying to understand.
but I'm assuming it's preventative. You know, I would think.
But here's the thing. Here's the catch. What if he does get a little homesick and he with another jury? And she got the antidote and she got something too. I got something to help you out.
Okay, so
that's trickery, man. I don't like that shit. That's
so
crazy.
here's where I'm going with that, because you actually led into where I on its face value, I thought the same thing to myself. Wow, these nasty, filthy, no good bitches. But you just said something at the end. What if another woman has the antidote? And you know what that made me think of? That still happens today. It's just not at that level.
Yeah.
Although I'm not advocating poisoning a man, I understand the game. When I think about this and I divorce myself from the idea that somebody would poison me,
Yeah.
I actually understand the game. The psychological game of it is that, you know what? I want to put my man in a position to where he can't feel whole unless it's here. And I actually kind of like the psychological game behind that. And I'm going to tell you why. One of my favorite songs is Destiny's Child, Cater to You. And if you listen to that song, the lyrics, they go in about what they'll do when he roll over. I'm going to keep my look up and all this shit. And I like that kind of shit because I actually think a lot of times when we get one another, men and women both do this. You put all this effort into getting somebody, you put your best foot forward, you sell your representative, you do all these things, and you get the person, and now you take them for granted. And so what happens is, I like the idea that somebody would put enough effort and give a damn enough that they want me to know that it's other bitches out there, it's other households out there, but home is where you should be. And for you to feel whole, I'm going to give you everything you need for you to feel whole and satisfied so you can bring your ass back home. And I like that sentimentality, not just for women doing it, for men doing it to women as well, too. Okay. And that's why I've always advocated out there. I don't have a problem with a woman getting her some dick on the side. Look, don't bring me nothing, and I won't bring you nothing. Don't get caught, so be smart about it. If you need a little side dick, I'm okay with that. And then fuck somebody at my level. But then bring your ass home. because what I hope that I bring to the table is something that I hope nobody has the antidote for. I would like to believe that my wife, the woman that used to be Mrs. Moore, still misses this quality dick. I would like to believe that even though she on husband number 2, he ain't this dick here. I would like to believe that it's a poor substitute and you've been out there searching ever since because you can't find an antidote for this dick. I would like to believe
I'm
that.
done.
I would like to believe that
I'm done.
that what I bring to the table, that when you strayed your monkey ass away, whether you're a wife or a girlfriend, that you still searching for that antidote. And that you might be a little bit well, but you ain't gonna never be whole. I like the idea of that. So I'm all for that.
Just don't mess up with the dosage, man. Don't kill my ass.
There you go.
But you
But
don't
I,
know though. Your body,
but,
everybody's body is different. You might not
Exactly.
know.
but I
That
think,
one tolerance, that
but
one
Hannah,
dose, the
I
first
think that
dose.
happens to a certain extent nowadays. It's just not poison. Think about what I'm saying, and I mean this on a serious note. Imagine getting this brother. You got your man right there sitting. So guess what? You cooking for him. You cleaning for him. You building a life for him. You sexing him correct. My hope is that he knows that what else am I going to, I'm not messing with these hoes out here because look at what this woman does for me every day. So guess what? Like y'all said, he have to go in them streets. But you know what I would like to believe makes him return home whole without fucking with these nasty, filthy, no good bitches out there is the idea that what he might lose, that, well, wait a minute, for 10, 15 minutes of pleasure, am I willing to risk a woman that you cook your ass off? I'm looking around your home. You keep a beautiful home. You're demonstrating all the qualities of a capable wife, even from what the Bible puts out there. You guys have talked oftentimes about how y'all each other's best friend. So you mean to tell me he's willing to risk 15, 20 minutes of pleasure to give up all of that? So the poison that you are putting in his system, it might not be physical, but it's there. That's why I like the sentiment of this. And vice versa now. So we're not going to just put you on a pedestal and let him be down there too. Because as a man, there you go. Because look at all the things that he's your best friend, how he treats your children, how he puts you on a pedestal. So I would hope that you too think that we got ours. There's nice looking brothers out there, but you got me all the way fucked up if you think I'm going to jeopardize what I got in this man for a few moments of pleasure. So the poison doesn't have to be physical. I like the idea of this. I like the idea of this.
That's a good take on it. I didn't think of it.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't go that route.
That's where it hit me.
We getting another side tonight.
I'm telling you. Every now and then, my head is more than four hat, right? Tamisha says, playing devil's advocate. Women were very insecure in those days. Men could and can today do whatever where women were and still are restricted in some ways and freedom. Absolutely, Tamisha. Absolutely, sweetheart. So that's why, again, at its first glance, it hit me. And then I thought about it. I said, you know what? It has some merit here. It has some merit here. And Miss Tamisha, she actually said, very good point. Didn't look at it that way. You know, appreciate you guys. So every now and then, a few decent thoughts come out of my head. I'm ratchet. You can find my show on TFG Uncut and TFG Ratchet. I am ratchet, but every now and then, I shed a little light on shit.
The diversity.
There you go.
You got people wondering.
You know, philosophical one.
I'm here to serve. Let's go to another one, folks. Let's pop in and check out another one. All right, share my screen. Here's one. Imagine a man going through a lot of women in his 20s and leave them with trauma from being used. Then get on the internet in your late 30s asking for where the good women at. Sir, they're seeking therapy from your actions. Oh my God, okay. And the comments, somebody says, and vice versa. Another guy said, that's why I told them what it was and left the good girls alone, ride at your own risk.
I respect that.
I respect that.
Hey, game, respect,
If
game.
he not lying.
So what do you guys think about that? But I liked how they laid it out, that a man in his 20s going through women and then in his 30s coming to social media asking where all the good women at? And we do see that. And vice versa, as somebody says. So I'm not going to make this just a man thing. What do you think about somebody who does that, that all of a sudden now in their 30s, where all the good men at? Where all the good women at? When you, in this case, when men ran through them holes in their 20s, and then the lady says, you know, where they at is they recovering from, they need therapy from all the shit you put them through.
Yeah. You don't think about that. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can say this. I mean, I think at your 20s you should have fun and enjoy your life. I wouldn't go online asking though. At that point, it's time for you to change where you want to meet older people. That's different. You need to have some corporate happy hours and things. Don't go online. Why are you laughing?
Or go to church.
Not church. The whole thing. I mean, not church.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. She said it. Thank you.
That was a trap.
She said it. She said it. It slipped out, but she said it.
But like you gotta at that point go online. People go online for everything. At that point, people have fun in their 20s. I mean, I didn't because I was married. So a lot of people, that's how going back. Not touching on Lori, but I understand the situation with both of them. But I feel like when people have fun, which is crazy, don't mess with the people that really are serious. Like it's plenty of people out here. What they call it now, DTF, down to fuck. So it's plenty of people that's down for that you can meet. Don't mess with because you're going to have somebody be really evil and nasty one day because you can play games. Nobody's telling you not to have fun and enjoy it. But it's people out here that really, especially nowadays, it's people that really want what you want. And then the crazy stuff is it'll be people that be like, oh, where the real women at? And then they'll get a real woman and think it's too much, or where the real men at and think it's real, and then want the toxic crap they've been at and don't know how to respect and appreciate that. So I mean, it's crazy, but it happens so often. But I feel like don't put it online. Just go change your circle and you'll find what you're looking for.
Very good point. Very good point. What you say, my brother?
20s, man, you rough shotting it. You know what I'm saying? You laying everybody to waste, and you definitely are not thinking about what type of damage or trauma that you're causing to a woman, or vice versa. You're just not, because that's just not where your mind is at in your 20s, especially a man. You know what I mean? We still don't feel ourselves out until we start digging into our 30s or so.
Absolutely.
That's when we start understanding the game.
Absolutely.
Now, he was wrong, because if he was digging through them in his 20s, then shut your ass up, because you probably the main one that was causing all the trauma and all that other shit. You just got it together now. So, and you can find trust me, you can find a real woman. You just gotta tighten up and just go looking for them. You gotta go hunting a little bit, but you can find them. But putting it out there and making it seem like there's no real women out there or anything else like that, and your monkey ass been out there with jump between all type of yeeks, man, please say that. Miss me with that one. You know what I'm saying? It's just the mind frame of a man. When we're in our 20s, listen, yeah, we're ruthless. You know, there's a small minority of us that are a little bit more mature than the rest of us was. But for everybody else, man, listen, man, we just eat. We hunting, we gathering, and we keeping it moving. We're not thinking about what we laid to waste. You know, sorry to the ladies out there, you know what I mean? We didn't really mean to be that way, but that's just how the way we're built. You know
I agree with you 1,000%. I agree with you 1,000%. And I agree with you so much so that I hope this educates women to a certain extent, because if you are dating some man in his 20s, you do need to know, like you said, Brother Bert, there are some of us. What I'm saying is not all sweeping for all men. Trust and believe there are young men out there in their 20s that do have the level of maturity, stability, and all those things to be ready, but not in general. In general, we as men in our 20s, we still get to know ourselves. We are in our sexual prime. Let's be honest. We think way more with the little head than the big head. And so knowing that, ladies, to try to hope that you're getting that real man at that age group, you're playing with fire because we're not in that stage usually who we are truly meant to be as men. I can speak from experience. I did a lot of damage. Decisions I made in my what's crazy is I was married in my 20s, so I lived out my 20s in my 30s. I got divorced at 30, but I lived out my 20s. And even then, the decisions I made, I did things with no consequence, no idea what the consequences. There are things I did back then I would not do now. But in that moment, sleeping with the mother and her daughter, I didn't give a shit. Sleeping with two sisters, so getting two friends the fuck at the same time, yeah, bring it on. I was with all of that, and that's because again, that's where my maturity, my level was at this point. Now, I do have a question based on this though, because if we are to believe that women mature faster than men,
Mhm.
and if we are to believe that women do not sleep around with the same indiscrepancy that men do, that they know who they want to sleep with, then why are we seeing so many women make those same decisions then? So
Who told y'all that?
that would make you think, which is why I've always stated that I think we're far more evenly spread out than people want to admit. I've always maintained that women have just as many bodies as we do, but they don't count them. We count things differently. We as men, I tell people, I'm gonna speak for me. I count every nasty, dirty sexual act that I ever come across. It counts. If you suck a toe, that's freaky enough that it goes into the mental Rolodex.
What? That does not
It goes
It
there.
counts. To a
I
man, it counts.
I have memories in my memory bank from when I was literally 10 years old. My sister would get girls to spend the night, and me and my friends would sneak in and put our fingers in they butts and cracks
You
and
get the
bring a
little
smell
dab
back
on
for
it.
each other.
Yeah. You
And let each other
right.
smell. That all that counts. That's how a man mind works. Every nasty, filthy act you can think of, we count it all. I hide and
Yes,
go seek, and
sir.
I got to squeeze your butt. It counted.
Yes,
It
that's
counted.
right.
This man. That's how man minds work, and
That
that
does not
starts from
count.
when we little boys. Every act counts for us. Women, y'all are built different than us. Y'all are more discreet, demure, and as you get older, y'all don't count every sexual act. You only count the ones you want to remember and the ones you like. And I've been saying this for decades. Y'all don't count the man with the little dick. Y'all don't count the man that couldn't last long. Y'all count the brothers y'all like. When y'all take them girl trips and, oh, I had a little too much to drink and ended up in his room, women don't count that. They don't
Ended up
count
on
that
his
shit.
dick.
You know what I'm saying?
I have no idea what y'all talking about.
I know.
Maybe
I
you
bet
do.
you don't. But
I
I'm
have
just
no
saying,
idea.
and that's the other part. Women, y'all have the ability to truly wipe the slate clean from shit that y'all don't even want to remember. I know women right now who watch my show who me and my partner, we done ran through every hole she had. And she would put her hand on a stack of Bibles today on June 9th and says she ain't never slept with us. And we done beat that pussy in every which way. That pussy don't owe us nothing. But she will go to her grave saying that it didn't happen. But that's the beauty of
And
women.
you know why?
Enlighten me.
Please.
There's no way, but I don't know about you, Blake, because you know you're a little different. But it's no way a woman who wants to, not a woman who really wants to be seen as a lady and not a hoe, come to you and can say, I slept with 72 men, every whole which way, and I'm ready to commit and be your wife. You gonna be like, I'm not wifing this hoe.
Very
So
true.
I mean, and it's double standards everywhere. A
Very,
man
very
can
true.
say that, and they'll be like, "Well, damn, he was putting it down." So I
Very,
mean,
very
it
true.
is double standard. So if I'm not saying women lie, because I mean they don't.
Who?
Women don't lie.
You gotta look at her face when she's saying that.
Um,
Women lie. They
however,
don't. She said they don't.
they don't.
Okay.
But if they do, there's a reason for it because there's no way to be 100% honest about your sexual history and be able to be seen as a
Do you
lady.
know what? I agree with you. I
Yeah.
actually don't. I actually agree with you, and that's why I don't believe we should know everything, and that's why I've never asked a woman
Yeah,
how
but
Me
many
too.
I'm
partners
not
she
asking
has.
her.
I'm with you 1,000%. That's not something I want to know. To be
No, it's
perfectly
gonna be
honest with
mine.
you, I do think certain things should be kept to yourself. Now, I personally like a woman with a little wear on the tires. Me personally, I don't want new tires. Who likes to wear brand new shoes and you got to
Oh
break
my
them in?
lord.
Hard to
So
break in.
that's just me. But having said that, I don't want to know how many feet been in the shoe and shit. You know, I'm okay with the shoe being broken in, but I don't want to know every foot that's been in the shoe. So my thing is, you should keep some of those things because I do want you as a woman to have a certain level of standard, and I'm going to allow you to have that level of dignity. The only thing I object to though is don't be out here though pretending though like all of y'all can walk down the aisle in white. Many of you nasty bitches need to wear gray and stop playing.
Yeah, you ain't never
It's
told a lie
always
about
gonna be
that.
white. How do
I'm
y'all
just
know?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying,
And to tell
you
you the
know.
truth, and ladies out there, and I'm going to say this: don't think that men don't have in the back of their head that you weren't a little bit filthy. Even if you weren't, a lot in our head, even if you don't say it to us, sometimes we might assume it a little bit there, but it's cool. It's an interesting dynamic because of the fact that we don't really want you to tell us, but in the back of our head, we wondering.
Thank you.
That's some bullshit.
That ain't no
Bravo.
bullshit.
That's some
Bravo.
bullshit.
Bravo. He's spitting
That is
truth,
some
ladies. He's
bullshit.
spitting truth.
I'm just thinking the
Baby,
truth.
baby, I'm gonna spit some truth to you. That man would not be marrying you if in the back of his mind didn't think you have a little bit of nasty in you.
Preach.
Excuse me?
Preach.
I'm a
I'm just
saint.
gonna say. Tamisha
Wow.
I'm a
says.
preacher's
Let me
kid.
move
Tanisha
slightly,
says.
I'm
slightly
a
coming
preacher's
down.
kid.
I'm just saying. Tamisha says because men can be big babies, they can
Yes.
play all day, but they girl better be almost. Tamisha, you're right. I'm
Tamisha
not
Yeah,
bang
denying.
on the
I'm
nail.
you're
not
right.
denying it. I'm not denying it,
Yeah.
Tamisha. You are right. And Jenny calls bullshit on this.
Thank
Jenny,
you,
I'm telling you,
Jenny.
baby. Tamisha, you're right. You're right. Because I'm gonna tell you how right you are, Tamisha,
Yup.
and how right Bert is. I want to believe you got some freak in you, but I don't want to hear about every blow about it. Let that stay in my damn
Right.
head. Let it stay, because you're right. We are the male ego. It's not built to see it in full color. You remember that movie, The Best Man?
Yup.
And he get married,
Ooh.
and as he's taking his vows, the shit that was killing him was the vision of it. It's,
Thank
it's,
you.
it's what in the vision of her panting with his boy going in. So our ego is not built for that shit. Leave us to our own machinations of our own imagination.
Mm.
And I'm okay with thinking, I know she ain't the first one that been with her. I might not even be the biggest one that she been with. But don't tell me that, damn it. My ego ain't built for that shit.
Right.
So,
Let me
ladies,
live.
understand who we are as men. Leave us to ourselves. Trust and believe. You'll be better off. All right. So we got one more we're gonna put in here. So let me share my screen. Good conversation. TFG, his and hers relationship perspective. Guys start coming to this page because they have some great content here. Okay, here's one, and it's for men only. But of course, Hunter, you're gonna have to weigh in as the woman on the set tonight. It says, gentlemen only. You've been dating her for 6 months. You enjoy her company. She is not ready for sex. She has experienced a traumatic event. Are you staying or are you still looking? Before you answer, Bert, me and you going to answer first, and I'm going to let Hannah give her take from a woman. Let's read some comments. Andre says, I'm staying. Terrence says he leaving. She should take out time to heal before pursuing another relationship. Somebody, I think that's a man, says leaving. I wouldn't have made it 6 months.
Damn.
The lady says, the wouldn't have made it part. You know what you want. Brother Ken says, depending on what the traumatic event was. Curtis says, if I care for her, I may stay a while longer to learn more. Very interesting. So
Wow.
Yeah, very
That's a
interesting.
wide spectrum of thoughts.
It really is. It really is. I kind of like
Nobody's
that.
wrong.
I agree. Me and you on the same page with this one, brother.
Um, you know what? I'm gonna take this stance. If we're connecting, I'm trying to picture it if it's me and Hannah,
Right.
and if there's a traumatic event that happened. If I'm so into you, I'm gonna give it that time and that space, whatever. Because it depends on what happened, how long ago it happened. There's a lot that you got to put into that
Yep.
to really say like, hey, listen, I'm out of here,
Yep.
or I'm going to stay. I mean, if it's something really like really crazy, and I might not be able to, and it's a selfish thing, but I'm going to say it. Maybe I don't think I'm fit enough to handle it, and I might actually add on to your trauma. You know, it
I
may
like
not be
that.
physical, but it might be mental
I
because I
like
might
that.
not know how to be there, or
I
I might
like
not
that.
know how to continually make sure that I'm watching myself because
I
of
like
whatever
that point.
happened to you. So that you have to throw that into the pot as well. But I would try to stick it out for as long as I can, depending on what the trauma is,
Right.
and depending on how I'm feeling about you.
Right. I love that answer. I agree with everything you said. What's going on, Antoine? Good to see you, fam. Appreciate you popping in. So, I love your answer, and I love that it's coming from you said something in the beginning. You coming from the perspective because you said, I'm imagine if this was me and Hannah, because that's the key. And I want ladies to hear this answer here. The answer about whether or not a man is going to stay or leave depends on you and the relationship. If I'm in it just to hit anyway, I'm not staying. You know what I'm saying? Because what am I hanging around for? Now, to some of those answers, now me being me, I can't ever imagine myself in a situation where I'm waiting 6 months anyway. You giving me some pussy. I don't believe in waiting no 6 months. So, I don't care what kind of trauma you've been through. Gotta
I feel
have
you.
something to keep me in it. And I'm not trying to be even, I'm just being honest as I can,
Yeah.
because I gotta have something to keep going, in the first place. But you know what? The women that I have made girlfriends and the one that I ultimately made a wife, yes, I agree. That's why I like what you said, Brother Bert, because quite naturally, I'm hanging around because now, if you have me mentally, emotionally attached, the physical is the easy part for me. That's nothing, you know. So my thing is, I would be willing to hang around. Now, like what you said, it also depends on what kind of trauma. I have personally dated somebody who I thought they were past the trauma. And I end up discovering that she was way more damaged than I could heal. So, where Brother Bert talked about maybe even doing more damage to a person, there's a flip side that sometimes you can't fill a hole in somebody because it's too deep and they need more help than you provide. And sometimes we want to save people so much so I want to say this because we don't talk about this often enough. We always think about men as being damaged, brother, bringing a lot of baggage because of the shit that we do. There's women out there that are psychologically damaged now, whether we want to argue did the damage come from men? Sure, oh, sure, we can say that. But some of it also is their own doing, and nothing you do can fill it. We have these sayings about turning a hoe into a housewife for a reason. I love me some Megan Good. I don't think she was ever meant to be in a marriage. And that's no disrespect to her. I think she wanted to be. I think with everything inside of her, she wanted to be that woman for that man. But I think what marriage in that instance was requiring from her to be wearing the long dresses and being a wife of a pastor, I don't think she was ever cut out for that. And that's no disrespect to her or him. So sometimes, even in the best of circumstances, we can't be what that person needs, you know, and we don't even think about that in terms of being trauma, but from how she grew up. I'm using her as an example. There are women that they need to be free. They need to be hoish. They need to be a whole lot of other things. I had a woman that I was in love with. She needed her family more than she needed me. And I couldn't fill that void. I honestly couldn't fill that void. She loved me. I loved her, but she was damaged because her father had cheated on her mother, but her father was her everything. So what she was looking for from me was a lover and a father figure, and I could not be both. I could not be both. I'm not a molester. I just want to fuck you. I don't want to father you. And so I could not be both. You know what I'm saying? And so I that's a tough one there. What you say on this, Hannah?
I can't really add much. I am not a man. I don't answer man questions. Some things are I don't have a penis. It's nothing I can do.
I
But
just want to
as
give you a chance.
a
I respect that.
woman, I'll say this: I would rather if you felt like that you would leave. And I'm
Then do
speaking
further
from my
damage.
own experience. I went through some things in my life that were very traumatic, and I actually separated because it was no understanding.
Mm.
So I would rather you leave because sometimes, depending on how you react or depending on how you don't react, can cause more trauma that you don't realize. So I respect the fact that you would leave if you're not able to deal with it. Because sometimes when you go through trauma, you don't know how to deal with it. And you just try to get through it the best way you can. And it's not also always relationships. Some trauma starts from childhood and you
Yes,
bring it into adulthood.
yes,
So your
indeed.
first relationship, you might be coming into it already from the negativity of your childhood and the first trigger. And then when you're trying to get over that trigger and this trigger, so I really respect the fact. Like Bert said, nothing, nobody's wrong. Like you said, nobody's really wrong in a situation. But if I'm just going personal, I would rather you leave than, and I would rather. I feel like if you're depending on the trauma, if you want to wait 6 months, sometimes 6 months is not enough. Sometimes a year is not enough. And I learned that personally. I was going through a lot and I did not heal properly. And I
Wow.
had to literally take time for myself to realize I have to get myself and my life back together. So I feel like even at 6 months might not be enough depending on the trauma. So I respect the people that did say they leave and the people that can help them. Some people can help you get over that trauma. You just never know. Because Bert told me, Bert helped me get over my shit.
I love it. I love
And
it.
not in a bad way. Like I had a
I
lot of
love it.
walls,
I love
and
it.
he started slowly breaking them down.
That
But
is
it was
why I said y'all
patience.
my favorite couple, because
It was patience.
y'all are giving me hope, and I hope you're teaching other people. So, man, for somebody who said didn't have nothing to add, you killed it,
I was
sweetheart.
trying
What,
not
You
right?
to.
killed it,
I was
I
like,
sweetheart.
was
okay.
trying not
Now
to.
you
You should a
killed it,
little bit
It
sweetheart.
more.
said men only.
No, but you killed it because again, that's a
Mm-hmm.
teaching moment. You taught us some shit there. Jenny
Mm-hmm.
says that guess that's why I'm single. 6 months is not long enough to wait for sex. So Jenny
Wow.
says she ain't waiting either. So I even tell you, it ain't just men who said they ain't
It's
waiting.
women.
That's
You
That is
know,
right.
a long ass time though.
Yeah, what it is.
Tamisha says people fresh off of traumatic events or situations don't need to pursue relationships, sexual or
I
Mm-hmm.
agree.
otherwise. However, sexual healing, when done right, is what is needed. I'm just saying,
Wake up,
bang
wake
the
up,
bad
wake up,
way.
wake up.
Bravo,
You
bravo,
do it
baby.
right.
I love it. I appreciate you,
Oh.
brother Kenny. I
Because
do
the
think
boys
this
ain't
was
got
a
the
good
food.
show. I do think this was a good show. So, and Antoine says hello. So, look, if
Hey,
you've
What's up?
enjoyed this,
Kenny.
that's what's up. So, we've come to, we only do this for an hour, but if you've enjoyed this, come on back. Come on back. You know, while I'm sitting in the land of the unemployed, I'm gonna do my very
You
best
know
Oh, you
to try to
know.
put more content out there while I have the time, you know.
True.
So come on back. So what I would hope to do is I'm going to try to make this on Thursdays, just a regular edition where we're going to dive into TFGs, his and hers relationship perspectives. Come on back. Come on. For anybody who's scared to come on the show, come on the show. But if you don't, I love you. Thank you for showing up in the comments. We appreciate you. And you can find this show again on TFG. Type in TFG on Facebook or YouTube, and you can find my content under TFG Uncut and TFG Ratchet because, as you see, the conversation is real. It is raw, it's frank, it's direct, and it's honest. but you're welcome to come on anytime. If you don't know, this is Hannah, this is Bert. They are regulars on Real Talk for Real Men. This is my absolute favorite couple on this freaking planet. I love them. This is my sister and brother. And so come on back. And as you see, amidst some of the fuckery and foolishness, you might learn a few things. You might learn a few things too. So I love you guys. Everybody enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for once again popping in. And check out TFG His and Hers Relationship Perspectives. And check everything out on TFG. Until next time, see you later. Everybody be good.